So, welcome to NewElement's first podcast. We're here tonight to talk about the direction that RCT is going in. It's a topic that Nin started on the forums, so we'll hand it over to you, Nin.
Okay, well, like Lewis introduced it. I'm Nin. Obviously, I did that direction of RCT thing. Clearly, basically, it was more of a personal struggle since obviously I do not finish anything ever. And so, looking back at older parks and the stuff currently made by people like Turtle, and then I guess since I mentioned Z-Burns and X-Coaster and all those people, how they use, I don't know, almost like the bare minimum objects, except that their stuff is so much better than everyone else's. That's debatable, but I'll stand by my opinion. And it kind of turned into this RCT art type thing. I wasn't exactly heading towards that, because I know most people would say that they do not want that, or they don't want the game to go into that direction. I'm more just saying I would rather see head-to-head 4 era stuff, head-to-head 4 and like the Pro Tour 2, where you could get away with an idea and not spend hours upon hours on a single building or a roller coaster support system or anything like that. And I don't know. So hopefully in my future releases, I don't know if the community will love it or not, but I'm going to try at least to finish something by not spending that amount of time on a single object or item of, I don't know. That's really all I gotta say.
So when you're saying that you would want to go back to sort of H2H4 era stuff, do you mean completely within like all the objects that you use, so you start using bigger objects and things like that instead of concentrating on smaller details? And if so, don't you think that we've progressed too far to go back to that? Don't you think people will sort of vote those lower than the people who are able to produce the high quality releases such as Robbie and Pacific Coaster?
The main issue, well, those two almost never release anything. That's the thing. I mean, every once in a while, yeah, it's like, wow, they just built something awesome, like Star Point. I mean, that's nearly done, and Disney's American Waterfront, all that kind of stuff. Like, that was awesome. And then Robbie, whenever he touches the game, it's beautiful. But it's like, other than a couple screens in the dump place, or a topic, or like a head-to-head park, which has to get released, they don't really release anything. Same with me. I mean, my most recent stuff, and I think best stuff released, was in Head-to-Head 6, but that's because I absolutely had to do it. And without a deadline, I'm not going to push myself to finish buildings in however many times, or however much it took to make one. Like, I mean, I'd spend, like, hours upon hours just trying to build some random little tiny thing for, like, Tivoli Gardens or anything like that for Head-to-Head 6, but that was because I absolutely had to. And because I was matching the quality of everyone else. Okay, go ahead, yeah.
But then, like, with me, for Head-to-Head 6, I felt like the complete opposite. I felt that my building wasn't as strong, I think because it almost had the pressure on me, and, like, being captain, having the pressure of having to lead the team, I kind of think that went went in the opposite direction for me, and I didn't produce what I should have really produced.
So, Cumber, what do you think? Do you think that we should go back towards a less detailed style, or do you think we're at the sort of pinnacle and that we should sort of stay at this level and carry on as we are?
Well, at the end of the day, it comes down to just build whatever you want to build, in my opinion. So if people want to stick with the details, you're more than welcome to. If they want to revert back to H2H4, I kind of like that to some extent. You know, I was active back then. My team won the championship back then, and good memories. Now, I actually, I don't want to be too much of a journalist here, but I have a question for Lewis, actually. What do you think of Codex actually kind of pushing the limits of the details you can use in Loopy Landscapes parks? Do you think that it's getting to a point where those parks are becoming too detailed?
I think it depends on who's sort of building, really, because, I mean, at the minute you've got people like Piero and Loopy who can build all these details, but at the same time, I'm just guessing that's how you say it. So I think you've got people like Loopy and Piero that are building all these details, but they can pull it off because their style's not so messy and everything's really clean looking. I don't know whether that takes them more time than it does for me to create a messier looking detail or what, but I kind of think a lot of the time when I first started playing Luigi Landscapes, it was a lot quicker for me to build. But now the game's sort of progressed further and further, I do think that it's a lot harder and a lot more time consuming, almost more time consuming than RCT2. Um, so on the one hand, it's great to see everyone building LL and building all these fantastic details, but on the other hand, I kind of think it's getting a bit too much due to the fact that I don't know really.
So do you think we saw? Sorry, carry on.
Oh, I was gonna say that years ago I was talking to Coaster Ed, actually pretty much the same discussion, like where is RCT heading? This was probably around 2008, 2009, and we were getting a little bored of well, maybe it was H2H4 style parks, but me and him, we both kind of agreed that we thought the future of RCT2 was going to be a lot of quarter tile objects, and it's actually gotten even smaller than that, and a lot of track use. And you see that to some extent, Pacific Coaster, Gee Whiz, Disneyland Hand, a lot of those guys are building like that, so we kind of saw it coming to some extent back then, but yeah, it's really evolved a lot, even beyond quarter tile, which is almost scary.
It has.
See,
it's
that's
like,
the thing. Oh, well.
Go on, Kyle.
Okay, what I was going to say, like, okay, we went from building buildings by the wall. That's why I play with no custom scenery, because I'm like, oh, I want to build a building. Okay, well, a building is generally like 4 walls, a roof, and then sometimes if you show the inside, you put the floor. Okay, bam. What, 6 sides? Awesome. And then head-to-head 6, head-to-head 4, they moved on to the quarter tile. Yeah, like, okay, let's build with blocks and let's mix in walls at the same time. We're not forgetting both. And then pushing into, I guess, the head-to-head 5 era, and now up to now, it's like, hey, let's build a building by the block. Like, I always compare anyways, RollerCoaster Tycoon to Legos. And at this point, RollerCoaster Tycoon is more detailed than Legos. It's like, oh, that little tiny piece of block that no one is going to see. That little, the frame of the window. Like, no, the blinds in the window. I gotta put those now. That takes what? Okay, 18 blocks to make a window. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to place a wall or something like that and be done with it. And then maybe a wall over that.
Agree with you.
And I'm like, okay. But now I'm like, oh, well, I can't put anything because then we have everyone else putting the blinds in windows or the light fixtures and the wiring to those light fixtures. Oh, let's put the insulation inside the buildings now. I'm like, okay, well, I'm done. Let's actually pour the concrete for the pathways now. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, some people definitely take it a little bit too far, but I think I think that's more to do with trying to be realistic as well than just trying to be more detailed in general. It's which could lead us on to our next topic. Do you think RCT is moving away from being a simulation game and moving more towards being a sort of art form?
Not necessarily. I think it always will be a simulation game, especially when you've got players like Robbie and Pacific Coaster who are directly using the game to create models of roller coasters of real places, and I think there's always going to be the people out there that are going to be wanting to do that. But then obviously you get the people like Ivo that want to create all these more art-based games, and so I don't know. I mean, the topic's kind of brought up a lot of people that seem to be interested in the art side of it, and I do see RCT as an art form. It's very creative, but I don't think it'll ever properly stray from the simulation that it currently is, really.
See, I sort of have to disagree with you there when you said that you see RCT as an art form. I don't really see how it can be.
Off.
Well, that's our first bleep.
Sorry.
But yeah, I don't really see how it can be classed as an art form any more than, say, something like Minecraft which it's just if you class something as that as an art form, then where do you cross the line? Where do you like draw the line as what is an art form? Obviously, people are using it to do more artistic things, such as like Ivo with Taboo and Color Flood in H2H. I can't remember who made that, but
FK and Coaster Mine.
Yeah, which was a shame because he's a really good park builder. But yeah, I think people are sort of starting to use it in a different way, but whether it's an art form or not, I'm not quite sure.
I can't believe you even mentioned Minecraft though, to be honest, because I mean Minecraft is shit.
Well, yeah.
It's the reason this game only has 10 people with it now. Come on.
Yeah, Minecraft is quite similar to RollerCoaster Tycoon in some ways, just without the roller coasters. So, Cumber, do you have any opinion on RCT as art?
Well, it just depends on your perspective, I guess. I mean, you talk about it being a simulation game or an art form, or to me, it's always going to be RollerCoaster Tycoon. It's going to be mainly about roller coasters, theme parks, designs, concept creations to some extent, but it's however you want to use it. I mean, you guys kind of know me throughout the years. I just pretty much build whatever the hell I want, so that's how I'm going to continue with the game. And for the most part, it's probably going to be about 80% theme park related creations coming from me. Just me personally. I can't really speak for everyone else.
Well, at least we know that there will be one person who's still putting out theme park material.
I build what the people want, not what I want.
Okay, so whilst this isn't really something that any of us want to think about, I'm sure, do you think RCT has much more of a shelf life, or do you think that the way that the community is progressing, we're sort of going to end up in a large ditch that we can't get ourselves out of?
I think there's always going to be those people that are here that are saying, "Oh, we won't be around in a year's time. The site's going to close down." And I don't see it like that at all. I think whilst there isn't a lot of us, I think there is quite a few of us who have made, well, good internet friends. Not obviously in real life. I mean, some people have made real life friends from the game, but I think we're quite a strong community, and so I think there's always going to be some people around. As long as there's some people around, there will always be people playing RCT.
Don't you think that these people who have made internet friends will find other ways to keep in contact and things like that, or move on to different games, because RCT just takes too much time because we are getting into smaller and smaller objects all the time, whether we should be or not. It's a fact that we are constantly using smaller and smaller objects. Don't you think that people will sort of just get a little bit bored of that and move on to different games that they're able to play with their friends and things like that?
True, but I think there's always going to be, if they've always got an interest in roller coasters, I don't think there's going to be much of a problem, because I mean, I've got my interest in RCTs because I like riding roller coasters, and because of that, I like to recreate these roller coasters. And as long as I've got my passion for roller coasters, I'm always going to have my passion for RCT. The two go hand in hand for me. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, but I don't know whether one of you guys have a different opinion to that. But for me, that's how it always will be.
Yeah, I think the community might dwindle a little, but die out completely, I can't see it. I mean, we might be on a little bit of a downward curve now, but one thing that always encourages me is when we get new members that sign up and post parks, and I still see that happen pretty frequently, so for the most part, I'm not worried about RCT or NewElement just dropping dead at any given moment. I don't think that's going to happen.
True, we do still get quite a lot of new members, and hopefully by reaching out into the social media aspect, as we are starting to do here, we'll
plug.
Yeah, like us on Facebook and follow us on
Twitter.
Yeah,
and subscribe to YouTube.
Well, hopefully they are.
And then join the forum.
But yeah, it's like if you go over to TPR, even though I'm not the biggest fan of their website,
We
I'll
don't
be
speak
honest.
of them.
No,
We'll
but
have
they
to
do,
cut that out.
but they do produce quite a lot of RollerCoaster Tycoon players. If you go over to their RollerCoaster Tycoon forums, they are quite active there. And
They are all shit, but they are active.
yeah, well, yeah, but you say that, but Pacific Coaster started on TPR.
True, good point.
So it's like, and he's like, what, one of the best in the community at the moment? I think it's general consensus that.
He's
Debatable.
not the best. I'm the best.
Well, obviously, Lewis. But I just think that the way that the game is progressing, we will eventually sort of see people leaving for different games, whether it's different roller coaster games, such as people start playing this Thrill theme park studio thing when that comes out. I've not even looked at it, so I don't know what it's about, but I know that quite a lot of people seem to be excited for that, and that could take away some of the Roller Coaster Tycoon audience, do you think?
Well, No Limits has always been one of the other big games.
We'll
Don't
see.
forget about that one.
They're pushing like all the new theme park games and simulations or whatever. They keep pushing into the more realistic stuff, and I think the fact that RollerCoaster Tycoon has lasted this long is because you don't have to go purely realistic simulation if you don't want to. Like I'm looking at I don't know, a few of the older parks I'm going through the database right now, and a lot of these you couldn't make anything like this in one of those 3D simulation games, and it's the fact that RollerCoaster Tycoon still has that game feel and that I don't know, that really fun, that RCT look. I mentioned that a lot. You're not going to get that on another game because everything is trying to be so photorealistic and fully rendered out, and you kind of lose the fun cartoony feel. And I think that's why people still play RollerCoaster Tycoon. That's why I still play it, because I don't care about all the simulations. Like I don't play Flight Simulator. I play a game where like it's more, I don't know, fantastical, and you can fly a plane and blow up shit or anything like that. Like I don't care about, oh, I'm trying to replicate real life down to, I don't know, down to the blinds in the window. But like, whatever.
I think that RCT has that ability where you can just pick up the game, and it has obviously you've got so many different custom objects now, but they're so easy to use with one another, whereas all these other games like No Limits, you have to use a different program like Google SketchUp to be able to create the surrounding scenery, and I think for a lot of people that is too much hard work, whereas I know I find it too much hard work, and that's why I don't play No Limits.
Yeah, that's true. The other games do require you to put in a bit more participation and things like that to make it quite as realistic. But then don't you think that quite a lot of the RollerCoaster Tycoon community strives for that realism? It's like that's why they're putting in all these smaller realistic details and things like that. So surely when there is a good simulation that comes along, which we don't know, this theme park studio might be a good simulation game. Don't you think that will take away some more of the remaining, at least, realism community?
See you, Robbie.
If it does, we'll just adapt the site.
It's nice knowing you guys, but...
Sorry, carry on.
Oh, no, it's good.
One thing that was brought up in the topic that I thought was quite interesting was the thought of an open RollerCoaster Tycoon source thing.
Yeah, that was great.
It's like... do you think that would sort of inspire people to play again or something like that? It's like OpenTTD saw quite a lot of success. It's still around, still has quite a big community. Obviously, the Transport Tycoon community is bigger anyway, I'm pretty sure, but I'm pretty sure that OpenTTD also gave it a much needed boost because it was on the downturn as well, such as we are. Do you think that if Chris Sawyer was... Because I did do a little bit of research into this, and apparently Chris Sawyer does have the right to do it, but because of the dispute with Atari, where he didn't get paid or something like that, he's refused to do it. Do you think that if there was ever a chance for Chris Sawyer to open the coding and release the coding, do you think that it would make much of a difference to the community?
I think it would be too much of a large job for it to really be successful in a way. Like, I mean, you yourself were talking about how we're on a downward spiral, and that in a few years maybe we won't be here. But I mean, to code a game, even with obviously the code being released, it's a lot of work. I mean, OpenTTD took 7 or 8 years to actually get where it is today. And I think if you, by what you were saying, if it's going to take 7 or 8 years to do that, then by the time it's done, the community won't be there.
Yeah, let's just hope Levis gets around to it sooner or later. I think he already cracked the code, so yeah.
And don't forget, Rumi is actually Chris Sawyer, so all we've got to do is ask him nicely.
Yeah.
I outed him on that earlier today. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, well.
So we've just got to beg Rumi to save RollerCoaster Tycoon, basically.
It shouldn't be too hard, because I mean, as I say, I just tell him what I want him to build, and he builds it for me, and I take the credit for it. So.
True. He seems quite like a laid back guy, so you never know.
That's nice of him. He'll let me get the #1 ranking then if he just keeps letting Lewis get the credit. Yeah. Damn Nate Locke. Oh well.
You're not too far behind him, Combat.
Yeah, I'm still #1 in my
Only
country and for my game, so I guess I should be happy.
Hey man, I'm like what, number 138 on the way up. Come on. Like,
I think I'm ranked 209, so I've got you all beat. Let's be honest.
Number 21.
164, yeah.
Hey, Trav has the highest number. He wins.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works, isn't it? That's what I've strived for over my 10 years of RollerCoaster Tycoon.
Becoming the lowest ranked.
So does anyone have anything else to add to the discussion, or do you think all areas have been covered there regarding the future?
I mean,
Well, I think we should discuss religion and politics before this is over.
Right. So the effect of communism on RollerCoaster Tycoon. Go.
well, it affected the replacements in Head-to-Head 6 because we worship.
We're going down the dark road here. I think we better
Let's not bring this up. We have two.
I was just thinking we had a communist park, but whatever. Okay, you know.
By the way, can Trav be here? He wasn't an H2H6 captain. Everyone else here kind of was, I think.
I applied. I just got turned down.
Oh.
You did get turned down, and I apologise for turning you down.
I'll never forgive you for that.
They
But then
should have had.
you wouldn't
They
have
should
been
have
on
had
his team.
Trav instead of Kong. We could have avoided some issues.
That was the first rule
Yeah.
broken. Oh, God.
Trav, cut that.
It's fine. We'll move swiftly on.
We don't speak of the 8th wonder of the world in this.
Whoa.
It's a good movie.
I think that's been a bit generous there.
Too bad he's gonna listen to this. Dang it! I'm already on
Right, so I
bad
think
terms.
that's I think we'll wrap up there.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you to my co-host Trav and our guests on this podcast / chat show, Cumber and Nin, and hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Twitter page, and like us on Facebook.
And sign up at the forums.
And sign up to the forums, and hopefully we should have another podcast for you pretty soon. Thanks for listening. Bye. That bye was so gay.